By the end of this session, you'll have some real examples of when and where to use a low-code platform. This knowledge will serve as groundwork for some of the other deep dive technical sessions, which will be coming later in Digital Week. Today, I'm joined by Ken Krause, who's my colleague for today's session. So let's go deeper and discover what a low-code platform is and why it matters. So as Diane mentioned in the session before us, low-code development tools really have caught the imagination of organizations. It's good for business and it's good for IT. Why is that? It really helps you to jumpstart your digital projects by making the creation of a form, a workflow, or a mobile app easy. As we know from our customers, external pressures such as COVID have really brought the abilities or the technology to prominence. It puts the tools in the hands of those closest to the business problem so they can get a solution built faster and at lower costs. As we know, and as you'll come to learn through this session, is low-code platforms come in two forms to cater to, first, the needs of the business users to create business-critical workflows and forms. Second, for professional developers to use low-code platforms to deliver innovative mobile and PWA-based applications. However, the goal of both of those platforms is exactly the same, and that's to quickly develop and update applications predictably and reliably at a fraction of the time compared to native toolkits or full-stack development. Now, this is one of my favorite slides in the presentation. And this is what we're calling the HCL Low Code Manifesto. This is what our customers tell us are the key ingredients. Irrespective of whether the platform is aimed at business users or professional developers, all 6 of these dimensions guide our product strategy. So let me just give you a flavor for this. And I'm sure there's going to be a white paper coming on this in the future. So firstly, these tools make it very easy to imagine and build a solution easily, from the very simple to the very complex. For many solutions to be effective, the role of the low-code platform is to digitize an existing manual process or re-engineer or wrap an existing digital process that already exists. Embedded in every single low-code platform is a rich integration layer. These can unlock data and processes without large, complex, and costly development efforts. This means it's really easy to integrate your low-code app with your enterprise systems such as SAP, your cloud-based HR systems such as Workday, all that data that you're reliant upon in your Oracle or DB2 database. For the people inside your organization, particularly your employees, it can really unleash innovations. So in a way, employees get to determine their own digital future. And that's particularly important if you're driving sales of existing products or services, or simply helping a bunch of your fellow employees navigate around a new headquarter building. So the last thing I wanted to mention is getting started fast is so important for the energy and momentum and also the project itself. Since you can draw forms and workflows and integrate systems visually, development time has shrunk from weeks to days, from days to hours. And you can solve problems and deliver solutions up to 10 times faster. And that's really impressive. So who benefits from low-code app dev, and how do you get started? The business benefits of a low-code platform are very clear. Far more people can build something with low code than pro code. You can make large savings in app dev costs and reduce risk. You can significantly boost corporate agility if you give it to the hands of the employees. You can unleash that employee innovation, as I mentioned, and they can bootstrap their own internal digital projects. And I've seen that myself inside this organization, and I know Ken has too. Low code leads to better solutions since they're easier to start, easier to evolve, and faster to get right. So let's talk about that community of developers on the left, the professional developers, Ken.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. So like you talked about at the beginning, the business has really challenged IT to quickly create engaging native mobile applications, progressive web apps, and also these need to be executed on wearables and an ever-growing list of other IoT-type devices. So that list of devices, that list of components, that list of integration points is greatly expanding over time, and developers need a way to quickly engage with that and start to solve these business-critical problems. And as you talked in those dimensions, getting started quickly is really important. And then the ability to scale up into either hundreds or even millions of users. And then for developers to be able to iterate quickly and add new functionality as they go along without having to necessarily understand all of the underlying nuances of the different devices and components. So our IT users and developers or professional low-code developers can take an industrial strength tool such as VoltMX and leverage that to build these. And it's a tool that's built and designed just for them to get these things done.
Yeah, that's great, Ken. So let's contrast that with citizen developers or business users who are building solutions in a low-code tool for business users. So it's usually a department such as sales or marketing. In our case, it's both inside HCL that has a need for low-code for citizen developer platforms. So if you're competent with using Excel, the solution is really for you. To help the business, we're starting to see companies establish a low-code center of excellence to help the business build what they need. Using this type of low-code platform, the business user starts with a form, the data in Excel often, and a workflow in mind. They shouldn't have to know or care about the complexities, the implementation, or even the database under the covers. Bottom line, whether you're thinking about a low-code platform for business, as I just described, or one for professional developers, as Ken mentioned, they're really about different skill sets, different use cases, and really getting to a different outcome. So let's try and solidify this into some practical, real-life scenario. And I know Ken has got a cracker for you to take you through. So over to you, Ken.
Yes, and this is near and dear to my heart as I come to you from Florida, as I watch the bands from our storm come in. So thousands of customers right now are without power across the region. They've had an unexpected storm that really devastated parts of the power grid, knocked out businesses, took out homes, and people are really trying to get things back on right. So Acme Utility had to react quickly to this. And because it was such a large storm and it impacted such a large group of customers, they've also had to rely on external teams from other counties and companies to come in and actually help with the actual repairs. So they needed to be able to coordinate not just across from their customers and the repair base, but also across remote teams, inventory shortages, as well as being able to coordinate responses back and make sure everybody is handling this safely and getting it done. But luckily, they had the right tools. So as customers and Acme Utility tries to get the main power grid put back online, other customers are still without power. So using the application that was built with VoltMX, Kristen in this case can actually log in and check to see if there's been any outages reported in her area or any other sorts of safety things that she needs to be aware of. Now, using the device location and information, it's able to pinpoint where Kristen is and allows her to actually report an outage in this. In addition to being able to report the outage, Kristen can also take the time to add additional information, such as any sort of power line down or any other thing that the Acme Utility would need to know, or even a medical situation in which she needs to be prioritized. So she can quickly tap into that, report the information, and then she's provided actually with a kind of a safety FAQ, frequently asked questions section, that explains to her what she needs to do, the precautions that she needs to take, and what to expect in the next couple steps. So Kirsten's on with that, and this information gets sent on into Acme Utility for them to be able to triage this. So as this request comes in to the newly built triage system, the customer service rep is able to look at the information, and then with simple integrations to be able to integrate in with such as things like the inventory system, the newly created multi-team management components, as well as any other sort of safety and customer information. We can take all of that information, blend it together, and because we know the location, we know the actual equipment in that location, we're able to cross-reference it with the inventory tools, as well as cross-reference it with the team to make sure that we get the right team with the right tools out to the right location, and be able to go through this and assign this thing out and be able to track its progress across the multiple pieces. So at that point, the customer service rep is able to dispatch out the information to the repair team, the appropriate repair team, with the information, and including any other information that Kristen may have provided, such as I mentioned before, as far as a power line being down or some other sort of safety or medical issue that they need to be aware of and that they can act appropriately. So now the service line is able to, with this information, go to the location, understand what part and equipment they may need for the device, locate it, and again, any other additional information that's pertinent to the repair, and go through the repairs. So they can actually get into their mobile application built with Volt MX, and by using the camera, they can scan the damaged component and then scan in the new component. And this serves a couple different facets of the application. Not only does it help, as I mentioned before, with the inventory components and the ability to track assets in and out of locations, but it also ensures that we're replacing the faulty device with a new correct device for safety and integrity of the system. So the system has the intelligence built into it for the line crew as they scan these assets to report back to it. So once they're able to kind of go through the repairs, log the information in there, they're actually presented as well with a safety checklist through their mobile application. And they'll be required to go through the safety checklist to ensure that they have set up the device correctly, done all of their safety checks, validated any codes. Because remember, there may be teams from different counties or different cities or different jurisdictions that may not know what needs to be done. But with the app, it can quickly guide them through what needs to be done, make sure that it's correct, and then they actually can go and report back that the solution is, or the repair has been made, and Kristen's outage information is sent back to the triage system, where she then gets notified on her mobile device that the repair has been done. So let's talk a little bit about what just happened there. So we had a consumer that quickly used a mobile application on their device to pinpoint their location, report an outage, provide any other sort of information they may need that's relevant to the solution or to the problem. Then we're also presented with information for their safety and their checklist on their end. Once that happened, all of this information is blended into the newly built triage system that took information from the inventory, from the crews, as well as from that mobile application, and was able to do some initial matching and assignment and directing for the customer service rep to quickly get the service crew dispatched. Now, armed with this information, the service crew was able to go out with their mobile device and make the repair, ensure that it was done correctly, report back on the inventory just by scanning in the old and the new parts, and then also ensuring that it was done correctly by going through the checklist. And then once that checklist is done and they've submitted it, it goes back to the triage system and reports it back, and then Kristen is notified via her wearable or her mobile device that the thing has been done, as well as the triage system now has all this analytics information that it can actually take on and report back on status, time to repair, all of those things in a blended solution. So let's think about what happened here again. So the storm was a surprise. So as we talked about before, the ability to act quickly and to solve these critical problems. We knew we already had a consumer app, and that consumer app had safety information in it, had your customer information in it, and uses the device location and information to be able to let you report an outage. But because of the size of it and the need to coordinate across multiple systems, we had to build a triage system that supplemented our existing systems. So within a couple of hours, Acme Utilities was able to build out a Volt application and deliver it to their triage team, and it has some intelligence built into it. So as it got the information in from the location, it was able to map that location had a certain part, make sure we had that part in stock, make sure we had the right team identified, that team gets delivered out there, and then they can use their system. So we need to be able to coordinate things. And so in just a few hours, very easily being able to connect all of these disparate systems and to deliver a solution that provided the information that they needed, not just to make the repair, but also to keep the customer informed, keep the line crews safe, and as well as the customer safe. So with that, let's kind of wrap up kind of what we just saw and how these two pieces came together with Andrew.
Thank you, Ken. That was an excellent demo. It resonates for me for a number of reasons. As it always seems like every year we have an ice storm and the power goes out. So I wish it was as fast to getting resolved as that. So that's perfect. So speaking of thunderstorms, bolts of lightning, and electricity, so let's talk about what makes Volt MX and HCL Domino Volt with Domino special. You know, as you've heard and seen from Ken, you know, Volt MX makes it really easy for those professional developers to build beautiful multi-digital touchpoint applications. Its ability to integrate those complex back-end systems and build those innovative experiences on a single platform is really a game changer. And those things are built right into the product. You know, when you do that, it significantly reduces complexity, cost, and development time. You know, from our perspective, you know, Volt MX is an industrial strength, low-code platform for teams of professional developers to build, you know, really great applications. And from a deployment standpoint, it's architected to scale from hundreds to millions of users. And we have customers who literally have millions of users using it. So you'll learn more about Volt MX tomorrow during our global announcement with Richard, with Jason, Gary, and myself. So what makes Domino Volt, can we go back one slide? So what makes Domino and Domino Volt special? As we've seen in Ken's demo, Domino Volt makes it easy for business users to solve a problem. With its web-based drag-and-drop interface, building forms, workflows, and business rules is fast and can be customized with your company's branding immediately. It cuts out the need for larger projects and IT resources so they can be deployed elsewhere. Also, once the data is actually inside Domino, it's governed and it's secure. So there's no need to share spreadsheets of data around in SharePoint or in email anymore. Thinking about it a bit more, with Domino as the foundation, Domino Volt is truly a versatile low-code solution that competes with Power Apps and Nintex and K2, which reminds me of a tweet I saw recently, which is, until yesterday, I'd never tried importing an Excel spreadsheet to create an app before. I did, and it just worked beautifully in less than 2 minutes. That's wow. So I hope, you know, you're starting to get a flavor of the two sets of audiences we have and the two sets of platforms. So as I mentioned at the beginning, this is just the beginning of your journey to learn more about these great solutions. And we've got lots of great technical sessions lined up for you during the conference. As an example, you know, we have the world premiere tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., which I mentioned with Richard, Jason, and myself. But we also have a low-code tutorial session on November 11th during Factory Tour, led by Marty Leckleiter, the product manager for Domino Volt. So join us for the announcement tomorrow. I hope you get to attend some of the other sessions. And thank you for attending today. Thank you, Ken, for a great demonstration and joining us on the content here. Be well and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you very much.